madly mad 'cause of the dreams I often have. They think they're locking me away, but I think I'd rather stay here with you, my imaginary friend, on whom I can depend.
This little short film is loosely based on a true story, all depending on how you define loosely, of course. At present, we're staying with my partner's family. By the end of this film, we'll either be living happily on the other side of the rainbow, or we'll be taken back to England in straitjackets. There's no doubt in my mind that for a dog, this country poses no dilemmas. What more could they ask for? Once they've endured the 32-hour flight and 4 weeks quarantine, it's pure doggy heaven from here on out. Just need to stay away from the very unfriendly predators that could lead you to paying the most exorbitant vet bill you've ever seen in your life, and everything will be fine.
How long do I stay like this for? Actually, I prefer my left profile, to tell you the truth. Okay, are you done now? Thank you.
Material objects are nothing in the grand scheme of things, so we had to give away all of our new furniture and electrical appliances that we'd only just finished paying off. So we're having to start from the bottom and beg and borrow and save to rebuild what we had, if only a fraction. It's only possessions, isn't it? That's nothing compared to this wonderful, all-encompassing quality life, which we're reaching out for and almost touching. For the first time in many years, maybe the first time ever, I can smell success of some degree. A chance at last to be more than content and live comfortably. That's all I ever wanted, wasn't it?
She's drowning. She didn't realise how...
Oh no, can you help me out, please? Can you don't just stand there looking at me, please. Can you help me out? It's slippery, slippery, and please help me. Thyme, come and help me, please.
Can't get out.
I've always been a coastal person, ever since I could walk and say the words, "Take me to the beach." I kind of knew one day that I'd end up living by the sea or near it. It was always just a case of where and when. Never in my wildest of dreams could I have imagined it would be on the other side of the world, away from all that was familiar. all who made me laugh and all who made me cry. Would the sacrifice of leaving behind those I loved and cared for in exchange for a life of utopia be one of a very selfish nature? The scenery is breathtaking here, from the natural rainforests to the lush beaches with their warmth and embellishing sand.
In this place, there's no night, there's no day, only night.
Aren't you going to go in this thing, Pauline? Huh? I want to go for a dip. I really want to revive in this freezing cold water. Don't touch the camera, otherwise the camera headbutts you. Child.
Some states are very different from one another. Right here in Byron Bay, New South Wales, anything goes. This place and the people in it have often been subject to scrutiny, often being described by the more conservative and stiff residents of Australia as those funny people with alternative lifestyles. So far, all I've witnessed is a warm and hospitable, non-judgmental vibe, which engulfs you the moment you step foot into this place. And if by saying those with an alternative lifestyle means those more relaxed and comfortable with their surroundings and understanding the concept of individuality, then good on them for being alternative.
And now we're in the land of New Age and everything bohemian, which is quite nice because it's a really good vibe here. But this is an example of just how New Age and spooky it all is. But it's great. Vanilla slice, that's the stuff.
Pie when you can have a vanilla slice.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Each base.
Lie awake and close my eyes as I start to realize.
So are you feeling better now?
Yeah, I'm good.
I see the light start to rise. It's not too late, and I don't know how I can find a better place so I can escape. Oh, and I don't know how I can find a better place. I can escape. Maybe it's fate. I can escape and not too late.
The Gold Coast is huge, Queensland even bigger. Stunning in most parts, especially up here in the mountains. Only problem is that you'll be hard pushed to find any public area which would allow you to appreciate these finer places more intimately. Although you don't see much of a social or class division in this country, you certainly know you're in rich man's land when the public access to most places becomes non-existent. Not many areas to walk your dog off the lead either, because of the wildlife, but still, it definitely beats trying to walk your dog in a park after 5 PM in London. We're supposed to be a nation of animal lovers over in the UK, but are we really? For all those who care, this country most certainly wins hands down for being dog friendly.
I can't escape.
One huge problem here, again for those who care, is that most are about 10 years behind the UK in terms of acceptance and embracing alternative sexualities. Believe it or not, there is still a law in this state which permits a heterosexual man to appeal for self-defence if he accidentally or intentionally murders a gay man because he was accosted by him. The straight man could very well be acquitted if he satisfied the judge and jury that he went through a very bad ordeal. How the fuck would any judge truly be able to differentiate between a hardened gay basher who saw a loophole to kill one, or someone who was genuinely subjected to sexual harassment by another man? Not that murder should be condoned if the latter was true. Very sick. Apparently though, there are petitions circulating to try and get this law abolished. This poster, which you see before you, depicting two gay men embracing, was pulled down in the beginning due to predominantly religious lobby groups who would rather sweep certain parts of life under the carpet for their children. Triumphantly, one very great and courageous member of the Queensland government, a straight man would you believe, overruled the original decision, placed the billboards back up and inadvertently told them all to go and get a life. All in all, things are slowly getting there for us, but we'll do so much quicker when people like Julia Gillard, the Australian Prime Minister for those who don't know, pulls her head out of her arse and realises that all she's doing is perpetuating the hatred and bigotry which is already prevalent by not implementing equal marriage rights for gay couples, for a starter. It's great to have a female Prime Minister, but what's the point if she's going to act like a fascist woman of the Dark Ages who's scared of change? All those agreeing say aye. Then again, the opposition, Mr T, wouldn't have been any better with his bombastic prehistoric approach. Compared to England, England wins hands down when it comes to keeping up with modern day politics and certain laws. Certainly for us homos anyway. Seeing this place from high above is the best way to get a perspective on what we're now living around. This, the sea, the mountains around the edge, is what I can only imagine heaven on earth to mean. It's cliched, but I like to come up here to blend in and realise how insignificant, how tiny my problems are. When I'm up here, I realise that I'm not that selfish. This is how I want to feel. It's just that it would be so much better if my loved ones could share that experience all the time. Just like me, whenever I come up here to feel small, but presiding over beauty.
There lives a song.
These two are grinding. Can you show me? David? Show me.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. David, what are you doing? Can you tell us?
Let's get a glass of wine.
Is that what you had coming for number 17?
We've got more things.
You've got more?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so even in Australia, people like to grind a lot, just like people in England. Dirty buggers.
Just because you don't have it, don't complain.
Ah.
That's the only reason why you complain. So does he have a 6-pack at least? Okay.
Show me. Show me.
Cheers.
This isn't a competition or a battle over countries. Neither is this an Australia versus England film. I just need to balance out the differences, eliminate some factors, reinforce why I'm doing this. Every other day there's a huge battle going on in my head. Australia usually winning. Apart from those I left behind, I have nothing to go back for. We scrimped and saved everything we had just to possess a portion of a rabbit hutch, a flat where our dogs weren't even welcome. Over here we have a place where we can easily swing 6 cats around and maybe even throw in a Great Dane. In England it always felt as though you were making 2 steps forward just to be told to take 3 steps back.
I love the chlorine in this water. It actually gives me a bit of a high.
There isn't much of an incentive to own anything in the UK anymore, because that often leads to no surplus, which often leads to no fun, and no fun means no serotonin released. You work all week to pay the mortgage to buy you a life that doesn't exist, because when it gets to the 2 days off we have and so desperately look forward to week after week, we do nothing with it. Most of us had to be frugal. Here, there are things you can do that don't cost you anything. Places you can visit that make you feel alive. But there are people back in the UK who make me feel alive. Do I really know what I'm doing? I want this life for us, for my family, however alternative my family is. But it's at the cost of losing my other family and friends. Is the price I've paid an extortionate one? Yeah, there's Skype, yeah, there's visits, but when life is so short as it is, which you do realise when you're on the other side of the world, do you really want to spend the rest of it only able to count on one hand how many more visits you may have with those you miss?
I'm fed up with this. You know, one day you're up, next day you're down. I never know where you are, what you're going to be the following day.
Look, it's different for you, isn't it, Johan? You can lay your hat wherever you go. Look, I want to be here. I like being here, and I'm truly fucking grateful for being here, but it's not black and white, is it?
Ugh, you know what, I'm fed up. I'm going for a piss.
Thyme, are you driving or something? Thyme, go and get into the other seat.
Go on.
He likes this. Hey! It's a stuffy. It's a stuffy on his own.
Here we
Stop
go
setting
again.
her off.
Wine, wine, wine. Ooh, I'm so precious, aren't I?
You shush, madam.
Shut up, shitty ass. I'm too hot, that's why.
Thyme.
Thyme, get to the back. Come on, dog's breath.
Stupid dog. There you go.
Let's go.
I really don't want to get that deep, and I really don't want this to become a voiceover so convoluted it'll make you want to puke. But my main driving force for making this film was merely to help me iron out a few little or major issues, which I sincerely need help with. Call this therapy, if you will. Yeah, therapy to me is expressing. Expressing with my pen. Expressing as I edit the script and put the pieces together. The dialogue and voiceovers match to the backdrops and the scenery, which do play a huge part in the deciding factor. When I share the beauty, it's like you're there with me. You. All of you.
Oh, motherfucker. So that's what we just bought in the herbal shop. This is for energy, stamina, vitality. And that's for quitting smoking, even though it's been 4 months now, we're addicted to chewing gum.
Detox and tonic. It detoxes.
Hall where the boys actually went and broke the toilets and broke the wash basins off the wall.
Yeah.
And I just thought, now, why is that?
It's
But the-
offensive.
Is this a private school in Australia then?
No,
Ah?
no.
What school is this?
I envisage the long term, and that makes me happy. We're working here now, and that makes you feel more settled. The honeymoon period is over, and I more or less feel as I did back in the UK, just with better weather and room to breathe.
Where's that?
Even though we have some good friends here, there's still a huge something missing. I feel slightly cheated because I have the same life now, but without you. Without you all. Tell me, because I need to know, is the price I've paid too high? I miss our culture, our humour, our music, our friends, our quirkiness, our buildings. But that has been replaced with an outdoor, spacious life that I yearned for from an early age. Maybe it is a price that was worth it.
No comment.
She was, wasn't she? Okay, right. So, yeah, landed the
Do you remember
sadist.
that photograph you saw of me holding the cushion?
But that's big.
I can only assume they're talking innuendo here. David, do you know?
Oh,
Can
no,
you
I'm
enlighten
hot
us?
now.
No.
You
Okay.
were there.
John, bon voyage, and we'll see you in London in June. Okay.
In England, I was content. I had the weekends and I was productive. I had all the friends and family I needed, but being content, is that really a life to aspire for? Swimming through safely, conservatively, just to have what was expected of you in the mainstream world? I never used to play it safe with everything as I was growing up. And I don't know where it all changed, but it did, and I got bored. If nothing else, I'm glad I made this change, this breakthrough, just to prove that you can take chances and make big sacrifices. Even if you fall flat on your face, I'd rather be scarred through trying than never daring whilst busy dying. I wish you were all here.
Are you filming me?
On the whole, to sum up, Australia has plenty of pluses. I just have to get used to the fact that a lot of people here in Queensland are very different, and we shall have to get used to hearing about regular anti-gay marches of some sort. This week, as I write, it's to protest against same-sex marriages. Which is a shame because those people ruin it for others who don't abuse their religion and don't think they're superior and in a position to judge, and do understand that's not what it was ever about. Maybe you should focus on the ever-increasing crime incidents occurring in this state, probably involving some of your own children you try so hard to shield, before you bestow your discontent and disgrace over two people who love each other and want to get married. Priorities, huh? What menial, dull and unfulfilled lives these people must lead. The best part about living in this country is that it feels like you're walking around in a perpetual dream. Little bits of reality only hit me when I start remembering and missing people or places and situations back in London. Then I realise I am living in another country. I don't think I've actually realised the magnitude of that yet. Maybe that's why I really don't want to give up now and so soon, because it does feel like I'm on a constant holiday. Even whilst we hard graft and work unsociable hours here, it still feels like it's all worth it and for a reason. Even the most menial of jobs are different. I guess it's because I know we're working for a better life, a bigger house, better prospects and a better future. One which I hope will be elderly gay man friendly.
So, since we've been here in Australia, in our capacity as hard grafting labourers, this is one of the many jobs that we've put our heads to, painting somebody's house. Jacks of all trades, very entrepreneurial, and we're not completely useless. We're doing lots of work here, jobs that I've never even imagined I'd be doing, which I'm quite enjoying. But we've done the whole house, see? Get a good shot of it. Some people complimented us on it anyway.
Dan just went for a piss.
The main reason I became shit scared of living in London was the future. I still envisioned my future as an old, lonely gay pisshead, coming home to his cold council flat of a weekend after another endless bender. With or without Johan in my life, it still looked bleak. But then it comes back to that same old dilemma, doesn't it? Does it matter where you live and what you have as long as the ones you truly care about are around you? Well, does it? That's my dilemma. For the next 4 years at least, I think it will matter. In England, I feel I belong because of who I am, but know that I don't because of what I've become, if that makes sense. None of it makes much sense anymore. I think I'm learning just to live, not to be defined by what I possess or what I do. I don't worry so much these days. I think and quite evidently get nostalgic, but I don't fill my head with the junk I used to. And in turn, that's making me a much more free-thinking person. Or as our alternative people in Byron Bay might say, free-spirited. That can't be a bad thing. Maybe you can only change your life dramatically once you've changed your environment. Maybe there was no other way.
And I don't know how I can find a better place. I can't escape, trapped in this place. I can't escape, lost in this maze. Lie awake and close my eyes as I start.
Now we've reached the end, I'm pleased to announce that we're still sane. Well, sane as could be expected. This film may have possibly helped those who've moved abroad and still feel like freaks, who knows? They do say that 70% of people who move to another country start acting in ways that people with dementia do. Well, that's my excuse anyway. And apparently it takes at least 1,000 sleeps before you start to feel settled. So I'm off to have my 245th sleep, and I bid you all farewell. Oh, and by the way, news came in during the making of this film. Allegedly, statistically, there are only 2% of openly gay men and women in the state of Queensland. Therefore, the decision to legalise same-sex marriage was thrown out of Parliament yet again. A recent survey suggests that there are hundreds of people in the closet in Queensland. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? A state maybe not deserving of its name. Ms Gillard had to keep most people happy after pissing them off with the carbon tax, let's face it. At the end of the day, where they get their votes from is beyond me. Bring back hanging while we're at it.
So it's good night and bless.
Lost in this race.
No, film me. Film, look. Oh, don't go, Tim. Oh, no, look at me. Look.
Well,
I've
that
got
was
my
a
back.
bit
Look.
peculiar, wasn't it?
Focus on me. Focus on me. Please, film me.
They say I'm slightly mad 'cause of the dreams I often have. They think they're locking me away,